So this is a tutorial for problem 10.2a in managerial accounting. And let's get started. So I'm starting with part 1. And the question says, prepare the January 1st, 2013 journal entry to record the bond's issuance. So to do that, first we're going to write down the date, so January 1st. And the account name that to record the bond's issuance, it tells us that the bonds are issued at a price of $3,456,448. So you're going to debit cash in this case. So cash is your first journal entry, and then you're going to write 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 4, 8. Then the next account that you're going to also debit is discount on bonds payable, since the bonds were issued at a discount because their par value is $4 million. So discount on BP for bonds payable, and that amount is just the $4 million minus the $3,456,448, and that gives you 543,552. And then the final entry is bonds payable. And that gets credited so that we have an equal debit and credits for $4 million. So those two are equal, and that is part 1. This is part 2 of problem 10.2a, and the question says, for each semi-annual period, compute A, the cash payment, B, the straight line discount amortization, and C, the bond interest expense. So let's start with part A. I've already started some of it here. So you've got $4 million, which is the par value of the bond, times 6%, which is the interest rate. And then we have, then you're going to multiply this by 6/12 of a year. So what does that mean? So there's 12 months in a year, and this bond pays interest semi-annually. So it's really what that is. It's, you can write 6/12 or just 1/2. So every half a year you're going to pay interest on this bond. So you do that out, and you get 120,000. So that is part A. That's the cash payment. Now let's do the straight line discount amortization. To do this, you're going to do 4 million. And then you're going to subtract out what was issued at the discount, which is 3,456,448, and that equals 54,552, and that is your the discount. So then you need to amortize this discount over the periods. So there's 30 semi-annual periods, and to do this you're going to do equals this, so the total amount of the discount, and then you're going to divide by the number of periods, so that's 30, and then that gives you this number, and this is the straight line discount amortization. So that is how much you have to pay out every period for the discount amortization. And then part C is the bond interest expense, and to do that it's very simple. You just take the cash payment, so equals this, the cash payment which we calculated, and then you're going to add that to the straight line discount amortization that you found, and that should equal 138,118, and that is the bond interest expense that you have to pay every semi-annual period. So, and then we're going to do journal entries for that in a little bit. Cool. This is part 3 of problem 10.2a, and it says determine the total bond interest expense to be recognized over the bond's life. So there's two ways of doing this, and I'm going to teach you the simpler way. So there's 30 payments of $120,000, which was the cash payment, which we determined in the problem before. So we're going to do equals 30 times 120,000. That should equal that number, which is 3,600,000. And then we're going to add that to the discount off of the original bond price. So that's we determined that was 543,552. And then we're going to add those together, so just the sum. That equals 4,143,552, and that is the total bond interest expense that is paid out over the total life of the bond. This is part 4 of problem 10.2a, and it says prepare the first 2 years of an amortization table like exhibit 10.7 using the straight line method. The straight line method is the easiest of the different ways of recording depreciation on a bond or on an asset, and we're going to show how that works here in the amortization table that we're going to create. So I've already filled in some of the values of the table. So I've got the carrying value, which is 3,456,448, and then you've got the unamortized discount, which is just the par, which is 4 million, which is given to us in the problem, minus the what the bond was issued at the discount, and that equals the discount. So now we need to calculate our semi-annual amortization and this is the value that's going to be able to complete the table. So we're going to take our total discount, which is 543,552, and then you're going to divide that by the number of periods. So we were told that it's a 15-year bond, and it pays interest semi-annually. So that means that there's 15 times 2, so there's 30 periods. So you're going to divide the total discount by the number of periods, and you get 18,118, and that's our semi-annual amortization on the bond. So we're going to do to complete the table, you are going to take the carrying value. You're going to take the discount and you're going to subtract the semi-annual amortization, and that's going to give you 525,434. And then you're going to actually add it to the carrying value. And so if you can see, what's going to happen is this amount over the course of the 30 periods it's going to be subtracting away from the total discount until this eventually reaches 0 down here, and then it's going to be adding to the carrying value until this eventually equals 4 million. You're not going to actually do the whole calculation. It only asks you to do it for the first 2 years of the bond. So just to continue down, we're going to do equals this plus this. Minus that. And then equals this plus this. And then one more time equals this. Now, if you take this, no, that didn't work. There is a way to do it where you're able to just make the computer do all the calculations, and you're just able to drag it down. But I wasn't able to do that this time, and it doesn't. It's not really worth it with it's such a small table anyway. And there we are. That is the completed amortization table for this problem. Okay, thank you. So here's problem 5 of problem 10.2a. And it says prepare the journal entries to record the first 2 interest payments. And so to do this, we're going to be crediting bond, or we're going to be debiting bond interest expense and crediting the discount on bonds payable in cash. And to find these values, we're actually going to look back to part 4. The semi-annual amortization amount, that's going to come in handy here with the discount on bonds payable. So that amount, 18,118, that is our discount on bonds payable. So that's what we're going to be taking away from the discount. And then to find the other 2 values, you go here. So the bond interest expense, the 138,118, that's what you're going to be paying out every period. And then the cash payment here, 120,000. Those both get recorded here. So the 120,000, the cash, that's your cash payment. That gets put right there, and then the debit 138,118. That gets put right there. And so you've got equal debit and credit on both sides, and this is the accounting that sort of goes in to make the first 2 interest payments. And so this entry, the first entry, is exactly like the second entry, so you can literally just hit Control C, Control V, and like that, you're done. So thanks for listening in and watching these tutorials. Hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, have a good rest of your day.